Hello guys, this is Amr Thabit here, and I want to share with you really big news, really great news for you, wherever you are, SOC analyst trying to learn malware analysis or just interested about this topic. I have really good news to share with you. First, I want to apologize for what happened last time on my live video. Maybe you guys got a notification like two, three times that this guy's going live, and then 2 minutes and he's gone, and with a broken video and low quality. Well, I'm still trying to figure all this technology out and getting this to work, but this will be happening soon. But if you don't know, my name is Amr Thabit, and I'm a malware analyst. I used to work in Semantic for a few years, working the attack investigation team, which is really like a very skilled team focusing on nation state attacks and all the type of interesting attacks from North Korea against South Korea, or from Russia against US, or from China stealing blueprints from this company or that company. Really interesting attacks. And before that, I used to work as an incident response team, in a very small incident response team in a really hot area in Gulf countries. I was working in Qatar, where there's lots of political motivation attacks and lots of financial motivational attacks. Um motiv- Financial motivated attacks, it should be did. But anyway, and I was working in a very small team protecting the critical infrastructure of the country. So it's really interesting work there. And what I'm trying to do here, guys, is to help you with your questions and whatever, how you can go from where you are, either you're an IT admin or you're interested in cybersecurity, or even you are working as a SOC analyst in the first level in SOC analysis, or wherever you are, as you want to go to the next level in your career. You want to work in a big company like Symantec or FireEye or Microsoft or whatever the company you want to work in, and you want to understand how you can advance, especially in the blue team. I'll answer your questions about malware analysis, forensics, threat hunting, threat intelligence. I've worked in producing feeds in Symantec, producing threat intelligence feeds. I used to work in a little bit in threat hunting as well when I was used to work in QCert, and I want to share this information with you. A little bit about who I am and how I learned that. When I actually started before I started malware analysis, I started in bin testing first. I was learning ethical hacking and bin testing, and I was super excited about this topic when I used to be in secondary school. I was reading about IP spoofing and all these interesting attacks, and I decided to pursue my career in bin testing. But when I started with that, I found that I need to take so many different certificates, one after another, plus that I should have a degree, which I didn't have because I went into mechanical engineering later on in the years, and I had to like to get into had to take certificates in administration, maybe Red Hat or Linux or Microsoft. I need to get the CCNA, the CCNP. I need to get CH or Security Plus. Then I need to get the OSCP, which is from Offensive Security, and I need to advance with them. So hopefully I can be able to work or compete with so many people who took the exact same certificates and compete with them for any open job. And that was really difficult because not only that there's so many different certificates that you pay just for the exams equal to so many other courses, but also is that it doesn't have the reward because there's so many people are competing with you, and any certificate when it doesn't become very known until actually so many people have it. So it defeats its purpose. It doesn't make you unique enough because there's so many people have the same certificate. Anyway, it was very difficult for me to get all of these certificates, or to pursue all of these courses and pay all of these courses. So I decided that I will leave that on the side and I will leave that goal, and I continued in cybersecurity in general as a hobby. And that what brought me to malware analysis. I started to learn that. I started to improve my skills a little bit, and I got a company who told me that they had an interview with me, and they told me, okay, we'll hire you, but first we'll give you a small test, we'll give you a malware that you need to analyze it and give us a presentation. And that malware was Stuxnet. If you heard about this malware before, this malware was one of the biggest in its century. It was Obama was talking about it. Ahmadinejad, the president of Iran, was attacking the nuclear reactor in Iran, and I was a young guy, amateur, still a student in university, and that was my first task. What I did is that I analyzed a small part of it, very small part, released it online on 27 2011, that was like 9 years ago. On 28th, there was the Egyptian revolution and the internet was shut down for like 10 days. After the 10 days and all the shooting and firing everywhere, after the internet went back, I opened my email and I was shocked. There was there was lots of emails and lots of visitors for my blog. Was nobody visiting my blog before, and I got an invitation to speak in Athcon Security Conference. This was in Greece. I got an invitation to speak in the University of Sydney by a professor there called Lydia Khalil. I got interviewed for Christian Science Monitor talking about this malware and talking about my work on this malware. And I got also invited to interviewed for a book about successful youth in Middle East. And until today, still my research is being shared every now and then on Cybersecurity Hub and different places, and still people asking me about this malware until today. The thing is that I was like, I was thinking until recently, I was like, why my why my small analysis, especially the first part of the analysis, was really crap, really poor, and this was get so famous at that time. I was completely an amateur. I wasn't that skilled at that time. I wasn't. Maybe now I'm more skilled. I worked in semantic and different companies. I now built the expertise, but at that time I was an amateur. But the reason why I got so known and I got all the opportunities and I actually got like 2 or 3 job interviews at that time is because that I was leveraging a really known trend at that time. There was a trend about this malware, and because I talked about it, I have been seen as an expert for so many people's eyes. People, when there's like a malware, like even coronavirus, right? Everybody's searching about it. There's a bank. When there is even a malware attacking different companies, people start to panic. All the managers, all the researchers, they are searching for information about that malware. And if you are providing even a little bit of information, it becomes it becomes a you become the expert in their eyes. And this didn't change until today. Like until today, we see like attacks that's really making the media. Not only this, like the malware attacks is still the biggest threat that leads to data breaches. And data breaches is like the biggest disaster for so many companies. Companies could lose like 20 millions paying fines, just fines, can pay 20 millions or 4% of their annual revenue according to GDPR. There's companies who lose a lot. Even small medium businesses, they may lose lots of money. They may cease their operation immediately. Like 22% of they have a ransomware attack, they close their operation immediately, and 55% of them who lose data, they even become unprofitable. So it's like malware became a disaster. People do asking me about ransomware a lot, and as well different attacks like Stuxnet. And until today, there is lots of malwares that hit the media by storm, like Emotet, Rikibot, WannaCry. Like everybody was talking about WannaCry. I remember there was a guy on, I know him on Twitter. He's called Malware Tech Blog, I think, if you know him. He used to he did like an analysis on WannaCry. He was helping to actually stop the spreading of this malware. And from that day, he became really well known, and people telling me until today, oh, the guy that did this for WannaCry, right? So anyway, this is my story, and I have seen that with my students as well every single time. Like Mahmoud Morsi, he did an analysis on Emotet, and he's making a huge success from it. Security researchers messaging him to send his resume to their managers, so hopefully he can get a job in their company. And I've seen that happens every now and then. My role here, what I want to actually do is to help lots of cybersecurity researchers, people who are interested about cybersecurity, people who are learning, people who are working in SOC, people who take Security Plus, or who are just starting in cybersecurity, to help them replicate the same story, and for them to be experts and to move from where they are to maybe to incident response team, to malware analysis team, and to be that go-to experts in cybersecurity. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help people to do. So what I do is that I want to create this series of live events. Hopefully, it will be live. Uh, for next time, it will be live, but for this time, we'll make it a bit offline. But anyway, I hope that I create this series of live events when I answer people questions about malware analysis, digital forensics, threat hunting, threat intelligence, wherever the question is, and how they build their career in that. So it's not about analyzing the malware on the spot, but it's more about answering your questions about um, what's your next step in your career, what's your project that you want to do, how you want to advance in your own company, or even help your company protect itself from this malware attacks, from ransomware attacks. This is what I'm trying to do. I also provide different trainings. I provide an online recorded training. It's called Malware Analysis Career Training. You can check it out on maltrack.com/join, maltrack.com/join. And also I have other trainings. I'm doing a training in Hack in Paris this June, and I'm also doing a training in Amsterdam and in Malaysia and different on-site trainings. You can check them out as well. I'm still building my website, but I will create a page where you can see different trainings that I'm doing. Also, I do on-site, on-premises trainings, on-site, on-premises trainings. Anyway, so that's it. Let's get into the questions. So for this series, I will answer people questions about malware analysis. And at the end of this video, as I told you, I have really big news to tell you, so stay until the end of the video. So we got the first question by Nigel Hesh. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. So he said, I'm a great initiative. I reverse malware, I reverse engineer malware to break down its capabilities, blog about it. In the industry, what kind of other analysis exists? What type of other analysis exists? One is to reverse engineer the malware to extract IOCs to be used maybe in Snort or something like that, or used in IDS, IPS, different tools. Another is building relationship with malware based with between malware families and understand who's the actor behind it, like who is behind it and why they are doing this. What else can be done with malware reports or data? Very, very good question, actually. So he's saying that he's doing malware analysis to understand the malware capabilities and to blog about them, but what the actual uses for a malware analysis report. And there's lots of different uses for malware analysis reports, actually, for analyzing a malware. One of them is to understand to get the IOCs, so we know from these IOCs if we have been compromised or not. IOC stands for indicators of compromise, which basically the file names, the file hashes, the domains or the URLs the malware is trying to connect to, different things, IPs it connects to. So you know from this, if you see them in your organization, you have been compromised or you have a machine have been compromised and now you have to take an action. This is the first use. Second use is that analyzing the malware makes you understand what exactly it is doing. What's also the indication of compromise can help you understand if you are containing this attack right now, what other machines had possibly been affected as well. Maybe you know the domain, but you don't know much about the sample itself. And maybe you find this sample in other machines, but it didn't try to connect to that domain, or it connected to another domain, or it was in silent mode waiting for something. Analyzing the malware and analyzing the whole attack from the malware sample itself to the memory forensics to maybe digital forensics and all these areas make you understand how this attack actually able to get into the organization. What it exploited here to be able, what weaknesses it exploited to get into the organization. That helps in understanding what weaknesses we have and what we have to protect ourselves from. what we can do to remediate this attack and similar attacks in the future. Also, it does help to understand if there are, let's say, if I did some analysis and discovered this malware actually came from a spear phishing email, then if I knew that, if I was able to trace back the malware that I saw or the domain that I saw in the logs to the malware, then to the spear phishing email, then I can know, okay, now we have this spear phishing email, which other users have received this email but didn't click on it yet or didn't open it yet. Then I can pull out this email out of their system so they will never click on it and they will never re-download the malware. Cases happen a lot that some administrators or security analysts, they remove the malware from the machine, they continue the attack, they format the machine, they isolate it, whatever they do, and then later on, 3 months later, the malware is coming back and the attackers are back on another machine. And this time they have learned from the first incident and they were able to protect and hide their tracks on the second time. Why? Because I didn't trace back to know where this attack came from the first time and able to stop it from coming back again. So this is very important. The analysis can be important for the organization. This is another use. A third use could be, or a fourth, I don't know, could be threat intelligence. So I give organizations to tell them, okay, here's all these samples, who's these attackers, and these attackers are behind, let's say, these sectors. They are, let's say, some attribution, they are Russian or something like that. And he talked about it here. So let's say here, Russian EBT ecosystem project or something like this. So yes, it could be used for threat intelligence and it could be used to link malware together and understand who is behind them. So is it incident response, whatever the containment, the remediation, understanding the weaknesses for threat intelligence, also for vulnerability management team. In companies there is a vulnerability management team who's trying to know what exactly the vulnerabilities that have been used and what assets in their organization that has this are exposed to these vulnerabilities. Let's say they have, let's say there is a vulnerability, Bluekeep, for example, there was a vulnerability released last year, it's called Bluekeep, and there is a malware that was using this vulnerability to, I think, for coin mining, as far as I remember, and if they know that this is the exact vulnerability, they can scan, let's say, with Nessus scanner. By the way, working in Tenable, so I'm not marketing it, but yeah, I'm marketing it. So they can use Nessus scan. They can see all the machines on their network that actually vulnerable to this Bluekeep attack. They actually have this vulnerability and they didn't patch it. Apart from Nessus, there's Qualys, there's Rapid7 doing the exact same thing, and there's so many tools that they can actually detect which assets in their organization that's vulnerable to this attack, and they take the first steps to actually patch these systems. You will ask me, okay, why not they just patch all the vulnerabilities they have? Patching all the vulnerabilities you have in all systems, that takes a long time and needs lots of people. And because of that, they need to prioritize what vulnerabilities to patch first. The same for alerts. For Snort Alert, IDS, IPS, EDR, like endpoint detection and response. There's also another tools that can give you some logs and some information, firewalls, email logs. All of these logs and all the alerts that can come from them are really a lot for the SOC team to analyze. Most of them, they don't get analyzed. At least half of them, they don't get even read. You know what I mean? So you need to prioritize these type of alerts and understand which one is relevant to your organization, which one is the most dangerous, which one that I have to act on first. Indication of compromise really helps. Understanding the malware really helps. And as well, for vulnerability management, for threat intelligence, for incident response, it helps every single team in the organization. So I hope that I answered this question. Another question I got from Justinian, and the question says, let me check. So the question says, Amr, what was the most challenging malware you have ever analyzed? I remember at that time the most challenging malware that I've analyzed, and was actually challenging in a good way because I really enjoyed working on deobfuscating that malware. It was called, I think, Gozinem or Nema, NYM something. And this malware is actually a banking Trojan, and they used a really interesting obfuscator. They were obfuscating all the calls and everything inside the malware. This was really challenging in a nice way because I had to rebuild the whole malware again, build all the exe part, and I used some Python with IDAPRO with different tools to actually redesign the malware again, reconstruct it again. I think that was one of the most interesting. The second one I would say with Region. Region was a malware that is attributed to NSA and other agencies as well. It has been attributed to them, and this malware is actually really, really massive. It was like 100 modules or something like that. I was working on some modules that actually modules is like an additional part of the malware that's being downloaded later, and these modules were like intermediate modules that connects with the previous malware and with a previous module and with the next module, and they were doing really lots of stuff. It was really, really massive. I think Region, WannaCry, and these malwares used to be, they are really massive, and the challenging part is the huge size of them. They were really interesting. Our third malware I remember was Valtrak, version 2. Valtrak was is a banking Trojan as well, and this malware was really complex in how it comes to encrypting the network communication, encrypting the configurations for the malware. The malware has been used by different criminals. They have like a malware builder where they set some configurations to which command control server, who they are infecting, what banks they are targeting, and all of this information is being saved. And the malware is being saved inside the malware, and then the malware is breeding. And every criminal has his own ID, his own configuration file. It was really interesting malware, the type of encryption they have been using, the different troppers he was using that had lots of anti-reversing techniques. It was really interesting malware to work on as well. That's mostly for this, for the questions that I got so far. So this is basically the questions that I got so far. I hope this video was useful. So here's the good news. So in the last few months, actually, last 2 or 3 months, I was rebuilding my malware analysis career training. It was really, really successful in the previous year, but I wanted to add even more stuff. I want to add lots of interesting stuff, and the training almost doubled in size with lots of interesting like labs and exercises. But I wouldn't share what have been added yet. But it would be really, really amazing. It would be the best training on earth. I'm really excited about it. But before I share that, there is one thing, as actually most of this other stuff has been finished. There's only one thing left. There's one topic. I will create a training about it. And I was thinking, I have prepared almost the training, but I wanted to record it, and I said, okay, why not to do it live? Like, I have lots of people who ask me about that topic. It's a topic actually in malware analysis that is almost everybody has been asking me about it. People who are malware analysts already, or people who never started malware analysis, they were asking me about it. I even had a friend who stopped me in the shopping center beside me here, and he asked me about, okay, I'm like, I wanted to really learn malware analysis, and especially like this topic, like I really, really interesting, like how you can like tackle this. It would be really interesting to see that in your training. I was like, I didn't add that part in my training yet. And I said, why not to record it? And then I said, okay, why not to actually do it live for you with you guys for free? Do it live for you guys to see it live and tell me what do you think. Ask questions. I will answer questions live. This will be really, really interesting training. It will be a full training, and you will receive like all the materials, all the stuff. I will be adding the link to register for the training. It will be a completely free training. But here's the catch: this training will be live. But once the live is finished, I will remove the replay. and they will be added directly to the training. So you need to be there live, and any, like, if you missed like 15 minutes or half an hour from it, you missed it forever. So you need to be sure to be there on time. I think I will do it on either Thursday or Saturday. Just let me know in the comments what do you think, Thursday or Saturday. I will do this training. It will be really, really impressive. And this training, this topic especially, is really good because everybody can benefit from it. If you are interested to learn about malware, you will learn about it in this training. If you are interested to know like why we use malware analysis, this training will talk about that in depth. Like we talked a little bit in this question, but there is even more you will know in this training. Also, if you are interested to know, let's say, if you want to see if this malware analysis is something for you or not, this training will be really, really helpful. If you are a malware analyst who have been years doing malware analysis, this training is still very useful because this topic, it touches everyone in every skill set. And the good thing, it doesn't go very technical, so you can go to the presentation, you can learn about it. If you're an incident response team, it will be very, very helpful. If you are even a security manager and you want to understand what is this topic and what to expect from a malware analyst, this is very, very helpful training. So it is really, really useful for everyone. It's absolutely free. It will be live, so I will answer all your questions. I will send you the all the details, or like all the material, by email after the training. So make sure that you sign up, and also I will send you the link so you can join the training live. I will send you the exact timing. I think it will be in March, maybe mid-March, maybe around 20th of March, something around that. So make sure that you sign up. I'll put the link here. And yeah, that's it. That's all the amazing news. Um, and this is all the questions so far. Make sure that if you are having more questions, just ask me. I will go live. Hopefully, I will try to go live next week. I'm testing a new tool, so let's see how it goes. Um, just message me, tell me what you think about this video, or comment below. Share this video and share the link, because if there's nobody registering for this training, or there's very few people, I wouldn't do it live. I would just record it and put it in the training, right? So please share it everywhere. Share this video, share that link, and tell people to register to this free training. It's free. There's no payments in it. Just share it and make people join, because when there's more people, I will add more. If there's even more people, if there's more than 100 people, maybe I will keep this replay for like 24 hours. If there's more, I will add more material, I will add more stuff. So please share it everywhere and share that video and ask questions. I will be releasing the next live soon. So ask me any questions about malware analysis or about your career in cybersecurity, and I will be glad to help. See you in the next video. Bye bye.